Today we're going to look at multiplying decimals by decimals. So one number with a decimal in it by another number with a decimal in it. We used models the other day. Today we're going to use the standard algorithm. Remember that when you're multiplying decimals, you do not need to line up the decimal. You basically kind of get to ignore the decimal until the very end of the problem. So you don't have to line them up like you do when you add subtract, okay? So they're there, but we're going to ignore them. The other cool thing you can do is remember that this 0 in front of the decimal, the 0 in the ones place means that there's no ones. So we can get rid of that 0 because it's not a placeholder. And then that's going to make less work for us to do later. So if there is a 0 before the decimal and there's nothing else there, you can get rid of that 0. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and get to work. We're going to have 9 times 1, which is 9, and 9 times 8, which is 72. So far, so good. Now that we have our answer, we have to go back and count in total how many numbers come after the decimal in the problem. So if I go up here, I have 2 numbers that come after that decimal, and then I have 1 number that comes after this decimal for a total of 3 spaces, okay? So what that means is I have to move my decimal in 3 spaces from the end of my answer. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, okay? So my answer is actually going to be 729 thousandths, or the other way, you could write it 0.729. It's going to mean the same thing. Okay, so that is my answer. And remember, with the models, it should make sense because you're finding a piece of a piece, so your answer is actually getting smaller. All right? So that's kind of that one. Let's look at it with 2 digits. Okay, and let's use something that has something in the ones place. Okay? So let's do 1.78 times 2.5, okay? So let's try that, all right? So again, we get to ignore the decimals until the very end, and then we add them in. So we're just going to pretend we're multiplying 178 times 25, okay? So in that case, we're just going to multiply by normal, okay? We're going to do 5 times 8 is 40. Put down the 0, carry the 4. We're going to add that after. 5 times 7 is 35. Then add what you carried, so it's going to be 39. Put down the 9, carry the 3. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. Okay, done, done. Now we have to multiply everything by the 2. And we've got to put our magic 0 here because our answer has to start underneath the 2. So we do need that placeholder, okay? So we're going to do 2 times 8, which is 16. Carry the 1. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Carry the 1 again. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Now, just like regular multiplication, we're going to add both of those rows together. So 0 and 0 is 0. 9 and 6 is 15. Carry the 1. 8 and 5 is 13, plus 1 is 14. Carry the 1. And 3 and 1 is 4. So now that we've got our answer, we have to go back and deal with the decimals. So again, we're going to count in total how many numbers in this problem come after the decimal. So if I come back up here, I have 2 numbers that come after the decimal there, and then I have 1 number here that comes after a decimal. So all together, I have 3 places, okay? So I'm going to come here, and from the end of the problem, from the end, not the beginning, from the end of the problem, I move in my decimal. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So my decimal is going to go here, and my answer is going to be 4 and 450 thousandths, okay? So if you need to pause and rewind and go back and look at a couple of things I did, go ahead and do that before we move on. All right, let's do just one more together to make sure that we have the hang of this. Let's do, I don't know, 41 and 8 tenths, how about, times 52 hundredths. How about that, okay? So the interesting thing is I'm multiplying 48 and 8 tenths times 52 hundredths, so my answer is going to decrease. What I'm going to do here is this 0, remember, I can get rid of. So I'm only multiplying by 2 digits because that 0 is not meaning anything. So I can get rid of that and make my life easier. And then I'm going to go ahead and multiply. I keep getting, look at, there's still 3 numbers. 1, 2, 3 numbers after the decimal each time. Let's change it. Let's change it to 4 and 18 hundredths, just so we have to do a little different counting at the end. All right? Let's go ahead and do this out. So we've got 2 times 8, which is 16. 2 times 1 is 2, plus that 1 is going to be 3. 2 times 4 is 8. Okay? So we've got our first set done. Now we're going to multiply by the 5, but before we do that, we have to remember to put the 0, so their answer starts underneath the 5. So we have 5 times 8 is 40, carry the 4. 5 times 1 is 5, plus the 4 we carried is 9, and 5 times 4 is 20. Now we're going to add those both together. We get 6, 3, 17, carry the 1, 1, and 2. Okay, now we have to go back and deal with the decimals. So we're going to count the total amount of numbers that come after the decimal in the problem. So up here I've got 2 numbers that come after the decimal. And down here I also have 2 numbers that come after the decimal. So this time I'm actually going to move it 4 spaces. So I'm going to come down to my answer. I'm going to start from the end of my answer. Okay, the end of my answer. I'm going to move my decimal in 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. And so my answer is going to be 2 and 1,736 ten thousandths. All right?